Who lost the Arab world? That's the question we'll talk about in the Lunch Alert today, and I hope you're having a nice lunch, particularly if you're having a falafel or Mideastern food. You know, in the 1950s, the question was who lost China? The Republicans claimed that the Truman administration did. Now the question should be who lost the Arab world? Because the Arab Spring is turning out to be nothing more than a springboard for anti-Semitic, anti-Israeli, pro-Iranian, pro-terrorist, anti-women, anti-American, Shariah law organizations and countries. They are literally converting an entire swath of the earth into followers of Iran and into followers of guys like bin Laden. And increasingly, we're going to have these places sheltering terrorists all over the Middle East and breaking any commitment to Israel and probably presaging another major Mideast war. Let's go back a little bit in history. In the 1940s and early 1950s, the British and the French, who had been ousted as colonial rulers of the Middle East, set up all these kings on different thrones throughout the Middle East. King Faisal in Iraq, King Hussein in Jordan, King Abdullah, his predecessor, a king in Egypt, king in Morocco. And in the 50s, a lot of Arab nationalists overthrew those kings and set up dictatorships. Hussein in Iraq, Nasser in Egypt, and a whole bunch of them in different parts of the Arab world. Well, at some point it looked like this would become a place for communism to take root in the region, because Nasser in Egypt and Syria joined a group called the UAR. They became one country and became very close to the Soviet Union. And a lot of Arab countries began moving over to the left and developing ties with the Soviets. Eventually, they got disenchanted, and they became good old self-serving, self-interested, corrupt dictatorships like Mubarak was. And some of them, like Gaddafi, flirted with terrorism. Many of them, like Hussein, just were anarchists on the global scale and launched genocides. But it was not a coordinated part of any worldwide offensive. Now you have allegedly democracies overtaking these dictatorships. And as in Tunisia, the democracies and free votes vote for really radical types who are pushing Sharia law. The rebels in Libya had a national day of celebration on the Israeli holiday, Jewish holiday, of Yom Kippur, and the purpose of the celebration was to denounce Israel and talk about their hatred for Jews. This kind of thing is going on all over the Middle East. And it seems that Obama's tolerance of the Arab Spring, his overt encouragement of this, is literally taking a country like Iran that was basically isolated and giving it a whole trail of acolytes, from Iraqis to Egyptians to Libyans to Tunisians to Algerians, possibly to Syrians under Assad, but possibly afterwards. And it's real, and also in Turkey. It's really empowering militant Islam to become a world power in a way that it had never been before. And this is the consequence of a president who doesn't know what he's doing, has never thought out a foreign policy, has never seen where the ultimate objective is leading, and instead is terribly, horribly destabilizing the world. If you look apart from the realm of economics and you look at politics, this is what's really threatening us from one end of the world to the other. So we need to watch it, and we need hopefully to have a president who has the faintest idea of what he's doing, because we don't have one of them now. Thanks. Have a nice lunch.